The manhunt continues this morning for a suspected serial killer terrorizing a small town. On Sunday, under heavy guard, funeral services were held for 2 of his 5 victims. CBS News correspondent Mark Strassmann is in Gaffney, South Carolina with the latest. Good morning, Mark.
Good morning, Maggie. This community is waking up rattled this morning, and 100 state and local investigators working this case 24/7 realize that. They know they have to put a stop to this. A serial killer has targeted the city of just 13,000 people, scared people.
Gaffney grapples with the unthinkable. 5 murders and a serial killer still at large. Only 15, Abby Tyler was the youngest victim.
It's devastating.
Hillary Kay met Abby as toddlers in daycare. As teens, they ate lunch together every day. On Thursday night, someone shot Abby and her father in their family appliance store. He died there. She died Saturday in the hospital.
She never did anything to anybody. That smile, I'll miss the smile.
This sketch has generated hundreds of tips. But until the killer's caught, Janice Foster will keep weapons ready throughout her house.
The town is more or less on lockdown, so nobody can just walk in or out.
In one traumatic week, Gaffney feels different.
It's really scary, but I don't think we should shut down our lives for him. I mean, eventually he's going to get caught and this is going to end.
But for now, streets are generally empty because many people are going out a lot less, and when they do, it's generally not alone. This is a community convinced this killer is going to strike again. Maggie?
CBS's Mark Strassmann. Thank you, Mark. Joining us now is Cherokee County Sheriff Bill Blanton. Good morning, Sheriff Blanton.
Good morning.
Do you believe you are any closer to finding the killer?
We don't have him identified yet, but yes, every day that we can work it, we're getting close, yes. I think we are. Tell
us a little bit about what you do know. Do you believe these killings are random or linked?
Well, we don't, they're all linked by the fact that the same murder, and that's what he is, that the same person has killed all these people. He's been at all the crime scenes, so they're linked that way, but any other, does he know them or know all 3 of them or all 3 incident locations? We don't have any evidence to that yet.
Do you know anything about him?
Witnesses, and we have probably 5 or 6 that have seen him. Put him between 6'1" and 6'3", and probably 230 to 250. Salt and pepper hair. He's had a ball cap on at all 3 of the locations, and his hair comes down kind of over his ears a little bit. He's driving, we think it's possibly a champagne or brown or goldish color Ford Explorer, or a vehicle that looks like a Ford Explorer, 2-door Ford Explorer.
Do you want residents of Gaffney to stay home? What advice are you giving your own family members, Sheriff?
No, we don't ask them to stay at home. We don't succumb to this guy. We ask people to be cautious, try to travel in groups, keep check on people that live by themselves. Folks here is going to try to carry on normal life as much as possible.
All right, Sheriff. Good luck with the investigation, Sheriff Bill Blanton. Thank you.
Thank you.
Joining us now from Washington, D.C. is criminal profiler Pat Brown. Good morning, Pat.
Good morning, Maggie.
We just heard the sheriff give us a physical description of the suspect. From what you know about the case, can you give us a psychological profile?
Yeah, I think the most interesting thing is he's probably between 40 and 50, and this is the typical age you find somebody who's usually a mass murderer, a type of guy who's, his life is finally going down the toilet, and he says, I've had it, I'm going out after everybody. And I would not say he's a serial killer, I'd say he's more of a spree killer. That's a mass murderer in slow motion. He's kind of suicidal, but he's going to take everybody out on the way. So I think they're looking for a middle-aged guy his life is pretty much, he figures, over. Mm-hmm. And he's probably not that far from the area, either a local guy or right outside in one of the towns surrounding it.
So if it's a spree killer, that suggests that these victims are targeted randomly. Does that mean the victims of this town are basically powerless?
Well, not exactly. I mean, I like people to be armed. If they to keep their eye out for this guy and they see that vehicle show up, If they're armed, they can protect themselves. Keep looking, keep giving those tips up, because this guy can be identified, especially if they spread the information to the towns surrounding Gaffney. I think they're going to be able to eventually identify the guy, but they do want to stop him because he's already killed 5 people. He hasn't anything to lose, and if he is a spree killer slash, the type that's a mass murderer, essentially he's not planning like a serial killer necessarily to go back into regular life and then live normally and then come back 2 years from now and kill another person. He will continue on his spree.
Till he's caught. Pat Brown.
Right, exactly.
Thank you so much.